Hello again. I'm doing this recording on the Friday before Labor Day, so I hope everyone is having a good time and have some plans to enjoy some of the last of the summer and be safe while you're doing it. Today's reading is going to be from Second Chances 101. This book was the second book that I published and was part of the Ripple Effect romance novella series. I wrote it with 4 other authors, and the premise of the series was that a minor character from the first book would become the main character in the next story. So Francie, who is the main character in this book, has a cameo in the 4th book in the series, and Samantha, the professor's daughter from the story, has a cameo in the 6th book. That book has since been pulled into another series, and I don't know if the author wrote them out. But either way, that's where this premise began, and it's been kind of fun because this series has Rafe Davis, who is the main character from Hiding with the Billionaire, which I did a reading for a few weeks ago. So anyway, this is set several years earlier than Hiding with the Billionaire, because this is right when Rafe is preparing to go to Harvard for the first time, so he's only 18. So Francie placed flowers on the grave and stepped back. Since the burial 2 months ago, she had come every Sunday, the only day she had off from both her jobs. She didn't really know why she still did it. Maybe it was the feeling that people who had known her and Greg would expect it. They had all thought the marriage was a good one in spite of his bad health. It had been a lie. At the sound of approaching footsteps, Francie glanced over her shoulder. She turned, a smile replacing her earlier frown. "Hey, Ma," Rafe said, coming to stand beside her. "Hi." Now, these guys are speaking in Southern accents, but, I don't do Southern very well. "Hi." She smiled up at her only child, feeling a powerful sense of gratitude that something good had come from Greg. Raphael had his father's height and light eyes, but he had gotten his dark hair, olive complexion, and slender frame from her. She said a silent prayer that life wouldn't turn Rafe into the bitter, spiteful man his father had become. "You shouldn't have come here." Rafe shoved his hands in his pockets. "He didn't deserve it." "I thought you were going to pack today." Francie wasn't going to argue with him. She had given up trying to stop Rafe from making disparaging comments about his father, but she refused to acknowledge them. "Done. I have to talk to you, though." Something in his tone made Francie turn to face him. She crossed her arms, but dropped them almost immediately. After Rafe had taken a psychology class and studied body language, he had harassed her for doing it, saying that it was a sign she was closed up. She would have reminded him that she was the parent, but his harshest comment had been that she had only dropped her arms at home when she was doing something with them. Francie might have been able to keep her problems from their neighbors, but Rafe had lived the truth. Her little protector, all now grown up. "Let's sit down." Rafe guided her to a stone bench not far from the grave. He sounded so serious that Francie's stomach twisted. Her biggest fear was that he would make the same mistakes she had, and his father had. Greg had been so handsome in his cap and gown, so confident. They were going to conquer the world, and Francie had believed every word of it. She clenched her rough, calloused hands and took a deep breath, trying to steel herself for bad news, clinging to Rafe's comment that he was packed. "I don't like leaving you alone like this." He leaned forward, his hands on his knees, not looking at her. "I don't have to go, you know." "You will stop talking nonsense." Francie shifted so she could face him, her poor heart thudding. All these years of working 2 jobs so he could have the best of opportunities, and he might throw them away because of her? Getting that scholarship to Harvard is as much my reward as yours. They don't give out many of those each year. You think I don't know that? Rafe sat up, scowling. Look, Ma, no. Francie crossed her arms. I don't need anyone's help. That's the problem. You've done it all for too long. Rafe jumped to his feet and strode to the grave, glaring at it. And all those years, taking that... He bit back the word and kicked at the flowers instead. Francie let Rafe rant. Once he had calmed down, and he always did, she could reason with him. He finally gave the flowers one more kick and turned to her. It makes me sick to think of leaving you here alone. Oh, really? She indicated the grave. Let's be real here. It would have been easier for you to leave me alone with him? Rafe dropped onto the ground in front of the bench and ripped out a clump of grass. She slid off the seat and sat beside him, their shoulders touching. When she didn't say anything, he stopped mangling the lawn and leaned his head on her shoulder. She blinked back sudden tears. He couldn't see her cry. Rafe could be so stubborn. If he got it in his mind that staying in Boone with her was the right thing to do, he would, even if it meant giving back the prestigious scholarship. Have you decided what you're going to do? Rafe finally asked, lifting his head. I have. Francie had been hoping for this question. She reached into her purse and removed an envelope. I'm going to stop reading there. This is where the story shows the direction she's going to be headed, and kind of where the title comes in, Second Chances 101. I really enjoyed these characters, and it was fun to be able to write them again as major players in the Billionaires of Wrecked series. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See ya.